Imagine this. You're a property owner, and you've just spent a full year fighting to evict a problem tenant. It was a nightmare. Today, you finally get the keys back. You've been warned that the place is, well, that it's bad, but nothing can really prepare you for the reality of what you're about to walk into.
So before we even crack open the door, let's just start with a number that's hanging over this entire story. $50,000. And that's not some pie-in-the-sky number. That's the gut check, conservative estimate just to get this house back to a livable state. It's the kind of number that can absolutely wreck an investment.
But a number is just a number, right? To really get what that means, you have to see it for yourself. So, come on, let's step inside and see what $50,000 worth of destruction actually looks like.
Wow. Okay, the very first thing that hits you, and I mean it hits you like a physical force, is the smell. It's this awful combination of rotting garbage and that sharp, unmistakable stench of pet urine. And then, once your eyes adjust, you start to see it. Just this sticky, grimy film on absolutely every surface. This isn't just a messy house, this is a whole other level.
And let's be super clear, this isn't something you can just clean up. This is way beyond that. We're not talking about a few scuff marks on the walls. We're talking about huge, fist-sized holes punched straight through the drywall. There are at least 7 in the living room alone. The carpet? It's just a mess of stains, weird burn marks, and paint splatters. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate.
But you know, the carpet you can see is only half the story. The real fear, the thing that keeps landlords up at night, is what you can't see. That overpowering smell of urine is a massive red flag. Did it soak through the carpet? Through the padding? And here's the million-dollar question. Did it get to the wooden subfloor? Because if it did, you're not just cleaning a carpet anymore. You're tearing out the very foundation of the room.
All right, moving on to the kitchen, and somehow it gets even worse. This isn't really a kitchen anymore. Honestly, it feels more like a biohazard zone. There's rotting food, a thick layer of grease on the cabinets, and the appliances are just destroyed.
I mean, just look at this list. We're talking about cabinet doors that have been literally ripped off their hinges. The ones that are left are covered in marker. There are deep knife gouges in the countertops, circular burn marks everywhere. The garbage disposal is completely shot. The sink is a disaster. This is just total active destruction.
So this brings us to a really important point that every landlord has to understand. It's the difference between normal wear and tear and tenant damage. Wear and tear, that's the stuff you expect. You know, a few scuff marks, maybe a loose cabinet handle. That's on you, the landlord. But what we're seeing here, this is damage. This is destruction and neglect, and that is 100% the tenant's responsibility.
Let's just put it side by side so it's crystal clear. Wear and tear is a few scuffs. Damage is a dozen giant holes punched in the wall. Wear and tear is a loose handle. Damage is ripped off doors and ruined countertops. Wear and tear is a carpet that needs a good steam cleaning. Damage is a carpet so soaked in urine that the subfloor underneath is rotting away. See the difference? There's absolutely no gray area here.
And the story just continues right into the bathrooms. The base of the toilet is actually cracked. The sink is chipped, but look at the vanity. See how it's all swollen and falling apart at the bottom? That little detail tells a very specific and a very expensive story.
That swollen wood means one thing. There was a water leak, and it was ignored for a long time. A tiny leak from a pipe? That's maybe a $100 fix for a plumber. Easy. But when you just let it go, that water destroys the cabinet, it soaks into the subfloor, and it starts growing mold. That simple $100 fix has now exploded into a multi-thousand-dollar remediation project. It's a brutal lesson.
Okay, let's head upstairs. As we go up, that pet urine smell becomes almost suffocating. And then you open a bedroom door, and you find the source. It's obvious this room was used to lock up an animal. The evidence is it's everywhere.
And here it is. This is the moment your heart just sinks. You peel back a corner of the carpet in that bedroom, and you find your absolute worst-case scenario. The subfloor, it isn't just stained, it's soft. You can press your finger into it. It is 100% ruined. The whole thing has to be cut out and replaced.
And it just keeps going. The bottom couple feet of the drywall in here are contaminated, the door jamb is chewed to pieces, and then there's this. Somebody painted one wall jet black. And they did a terrible job, getting smudges all over the white ceiling and the trim. Why? Who knows? It's just more senseless destruction that's going to take a special primer and multiple coats to fix.
All right, deep breath. We've toured the disaster zone. Now for the really painful part, the financial reckoning.
Let's break down exactly how all this chaos adds up to that jaw-dropping number we started with.
Let's start with the single biggest ticket item, the kitchen. This isn't a repair job. This is a full-on gut. We're talking brand new cabinets, new countertops, all new appliances. The conservative estimate for just the kitchen is $18,000.
Next up, the flooring. Every single square inch of carpet and padding in this house has to go. But the real cost driver here is that ruined subfloor. Tearing out and replacing that much subfloor is a massive job. All in, you're looking at around $15,000 for flooring.
And the hits just keep on coming. The bathrooms, new toilets, new vanities, probably some tile work. That's another $7,000. Repainting the entire house, including covering up that awful black wall, $5,000. And patching and repairing all those massive holes in the walls, $3,000 for drywall work.
Oh, and don't forget this part. Before you can even swing a hammer or pick up a paintbrush, you have to get all of this trash and filth out. You need a specialized crew to do a biohazard level cleanout. That's $2,000 right off the top, just to get back to zero.
So when you start adding it all up, the $2,000 for the clean out, the drywall, the paint, the bathrooms, that massive kitchen bill, all the flooring, you can see how we're climbing towards a really, really grim total.
And there it is, $50,000. A single tenancy turned what should have been a valuable, income-producing asset into a massive financial liability. The security deposit, maybe that covers 5% of this. The rest is just a direct, painful loss for the owner. So yeah, standing in the middle of a $50,000 hole is it's devastating. But, every disaster, even one this expensive, has powerful lessons baked into it. So let's shift gears. Let's talk about what any landlord can learn from this to make sure it never happens to them.
Here it is. This is your 3-part defense system. And honestly, this is the most important takeaway from this whole mess. Number 1, ironclad tenant screening. This is everything. It's your first and best defense because it stops the problem before it ever gets in the door. Number 2, regular property inspections. That bathroom disaster that's going to cost thousands, it started as a tiny leak. A simple, scheduled walkthrough twice a year would have caught it and saved a fortune. And number 3, meticulous documentation. Before anyone moves in, take hundreds of photos, take video, document everything. Because when you're staring down a bill this big, that proof is the only real leverage you have.
And all of this leads to the final, gut-wrenching question that this owner is facing right now. What do? Do you pour another $50,000 into this place, renovate it, and hope to make that money back over the next 10 years? Or do you just cut your losses, sell it as is to an investor willing to take on the project and walk away? It's a tough call. What would you do?